Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Oxfit podcast. Today we're live with a special guest. Man, I don't even know what to call you. Dr. P, Cedric,
That's right.
Sir. Should I call you Sir during this interview?
Cedric is fine.
Okay, I'll just go with Cedric. Nice. Just while people are like coming on and it's getting live, I've had some people send in some like kind of fun questions.
Oh,
So
there's
the
nothing.
first
There's nothing fun about me.
Well, the first one's kind of fun, like for me anyway. It's like they asked AirPods, are they safe or is that just a like
Yeah,
conspiracy?
yeah. So the there's been years of trying to correlate exposure to your cell phones, your earpods, with tumors in your brain.
Mm,
Um, I think the literature is kind of wishy-washy in what to recommend. Some you can find papers with a correlation, but you have to understand that like everything in science, there's correlation and there's causation, right? So is it are you controlling all the variables that will uh, make you conclude that radiation from cell phones is causing tumors, or you're looking at a population that have a lot of risk factors that could ultimately lead you to have a brain tumor, and what is your genetics about it, right? And your family history about it. So there's a lot of uncontrolled data. um, Now you can find papers saying that there's some correlation. I'm talking about cell phones. I don't think anybody has actually seen the if there's correlation with AirPods. I think it's the same principle ultimately.
yeah.
What I can say about that is, and it's my poor practice, is that I tend not to sleep with my phone on my bed. Like, when people put their phones in their on their pillow,
I think a lot of people do that now.
just try not to do that. And what's interesting about science is that what we recommend now will probably changes in years, right? So I don't think it's safe kind of answer, but it's hard for me to tell you with hard evidence, good evidence, that there is a correlation. Because
Mm,
now the dogma is that there's no correlation and you should be okay with it. Like, that's kind of what we tell patients, to be in the safe side when they ask me that. But you can certainly send me a paper and say, like, oh, this group in China found some correlation. Okay, but great, but you have to dissect the paper, right?
yeah, and like you said, if everybody has a cell phone, how do you? Yeah, like it's hard to control all the variables. So like, yeah, there is a correlation,
But
but
I think there's, like everything in health, there's a lot of common sense, right? Like, if you're going to be exposed to radiation constantly, uh, would that cause some sort of disruption or some sort of, let's say, no tumors, but your brain is electricity, and I might be might be talking nonsense, but if your brain is electricity, and you are surrounded by magnetic fields, maybe you don't want to be exposed to that constantly. And
mm,
even if it doesn't cost anything, you don't want to have that instrument constantly close to you. I mean, there's a lot to say about mental health with having your phone close to you.
mm,
So, short answer, no, there's no actually hard data about it if you ask, people that are in the medical field, but you can find whatever in the internet.
yeah, and so like common sense. So like you don't sleep with your cell phone next to your bed or next to your head.
I
Uh,
only do it when I'm on call, which I have to.
Plus when you're on call, yeah.
I
Just
have
to, yeah.
to.
But then, do you have AirPods? Would you use AirPods? Like, um, would you sleep with AirPods in? Because I think I know people that do. So
No, I wouldn't. I you know I think you can. I mean, I understand the situation when if you have a partner and you don't want to disrupt them in their sleep, and um, I just, I feel that we are bombarded by a lot of trends and narrative of what other people do and what what we're being told that what you should do to be better.
Mm.
Um, and I think what the way you have to reveal about things is try to be the more natural that you can. Now, if by me saying that you can sleep and you can't you can't concentrate because your brain is at it's working too hard and it doesn't let you drift into, then by all means do it, because there's no, if you fear tumor in your brain from an airpod, like sure do it. I mean, there's no data that you're gonna come back with a tumor. If that was the case, my ICU would be full of that. I
Right.
would be constantly operating on people.
Yeah.
That's not the case. So by all means.
Yeah.
But
So that's definitely not the most dangerous thing that's out there right now
right,
for your brain.
I think if you can sleep, that's more dangerous.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
That's good. That's a good
so
way to put.
now, having said that, I don't think you should. I think you should strive not to depend on that.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Obviously, it's not ideal. It's not optimal, but there's no evidence to say that that is gonna you're gonna have a brain tumor in the next 6 months to a year if you're sleeping with headphones, right? So like,
and
yeah,
I can tell you, if you don't sleep, you're gonna have problems.
you're gonna have problems. Yeah.
That's data. That's
Yeah.
data
That's real
driven.
data. Cool.
That's hard data. So
All right, another fun one. And
yeah,
these are not turning out to be fun either. You're right. We end up talking about brain tumors. But how much coffee is too much coffee? As I saw you sipping on your coffee.
there's not such a thing as so much.
Okay.
The they've been trying to demonize coffee for so long, and every time they try, they fail. Like every single paper that comes out defends coffee. The last one was like, oh, if you drink a lot of coffee, you're gonna have palpitations and you can have arrhythmias. Well, there was a paper saying that's not true.
Hmm.
Recent, like in the last 6 months, it came out and that has been debunked.
And are we talking like coffee or caffeine? Like, is there a difference, right? Like, so what about energy drinks? What about like 300 milligram energy drinks?
Yeah, well, that's a different thing. Like, you know, um, again, it's kind of that tendency of what what is the norm in our um, society. We tend to say, well, more is better, and and nothing in excess is good.
Hmm.
Right? I drink a lot of coffee. I drink like 3 cups, 4 cups, but I don't drink energy drinks because the energy drinks is not coffee on. But there's a lot of things in energy drinks that are not just coffee. And we go back again to correlation and causation. Like there's a lot of things in coffee, in energy drinks that augment and potentiates whatever effect that coffee can do, and you have consequences for that. So I don't drink energy coffees. I don't recommend it. I think I think they're bad for you. I think they're detrimental, not because of the coffee. Also, 300 million. It's a lot of coffee in one shot. Like when I
Right.
drink coffee, this coffee is diluted in water, right? It's
Hmm.
not pure coffee. Uh, but I drink a lot throughout the day, and I drink water with it. So it's not like I'm getting a shot of something to be able to perform.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of going back to common sense again, right? Is like the most natural is the best, right? Like let's start there and be like, the coffee's natural, it grows, you dilute it, you can't, you'd be very difficult to drink too much coffee to that point, right? Of
Yeah,
like,
I know, and we can look what is in a can of an
well,
energy
and
drink.
also you stripping away everything that's in a coffee and just taking the caffeine, right? So like you've just taken all that stuff away and you've
You
just going
take
for the,
exactly. You take the antioxidants and
yeah,
all the other. It's not only the coffee that has benefits for you to preventing dementia and overall health, brain health has been proven.
mm,
I'm not making this up.
yeah,
Um, but it's not only the coffee, right? It's kind of, it has oils that are antioxidants, tannins, and all those things that are good for you.
Yeah.
But again, it's like everything in excess, right? Now the only thing I can tell you that it's in ex. Let me put you this example. Back in the day, we used to say that drinking 1 or 2 cups of alcohol is good because it increases your good cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have shown that that recommendation is flawed. I mean,
Mm.
if you cannot drink any alcohol, then it's good for you. Like, don't drink alcohol. There's no benefit of drinking alcohol. Um, but that was a different recommendation, right? Back
Yeah.
back back a few years ago. Now, again, it's common sense, right? What's good about alcohol? Well, so what's good about caffeine? We have proven that there's a lot of good, but not in excess.
Mm.
Everything in health is like that, right?
Yeah.
Everything in health. I think everybody knows what they need to do.
Yeah. I mean, I was drinking energy drinks for a while there, and I realized that I was like very addicted to them, and looking forward to the next one like too much. You know what I mean? I was like, I can't wait to get that energy drink. Like, and I knew in my mind there was something in it where I was like stealing energy from somewhere else. Like I was stealing it from tomorrow. You know what I mean? With 300 milligrams, it was like if I'm not ready to go and do what I need to do today, I need 300 milligrams of caffeine to do it right now in this 10 minutes, then shouldn't be doing what it is I need to do next. You know what I mean? It's like I've got to find a healthier way to do it. And like, luckily, like I'm like 1 or 2 cups of coffee now. It's way better. But that drinking 600 milligrams of caffeine, like some people are drinking 2 of them a day. Like, that you're stealing that energy from somewhere else, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. No, and again, it's not only when you drink that. It's not only the caffeine, right? It's like what else are you drinking in that thing?
yeah.
Uh,
How can it taste like that and be zero sugar, right? It's
yeah.
just
Good
stuff like
point.
that doesn't make any sense, right?
No, and that's a good point. Like, what they used to sweeten these things actually causes problems. Like, the Splendas of the world and other things, all those artificial sweeteners, they're terrible for you. Like they cause neuropathy, they cause tingling in your fingers, memory It's also proven. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not. I'm not making it up. And I'll give you my example of life. When I was in training, I used to drink uh, a lot of Coke Zero, and it was a lot, massive amounts, like 6 packs a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to develop neuropathy, tingling in my fingers, and it was because of the aspartame in those drinks.
Mm.
And at that point, people didn't say that was the cause, but papers came out, and I transitioned from that to just having sparkling water, and that's what I do now because I like the fizz, and I drink that all the time, and I don't drink it as much because ultimately it's what, to your point of being dependent on things is also not a good thing for your life. Like you shouldn't be someone that if you don't drink 300 milligrams of caffeine, you are not a human.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, I'm guilty of that. I need to have coffee every day. But if I'm in a place where I don't have access to coffee, I just can't imagine what place is that. You know, I take it as a challenge. Like, okay, good.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm gonna have probably a headache, but so be it. You
Yeah.
can be addicted to that. Now, caffeine is a drug, right? That's why you see huge lines of people trying to get coffee every morning.
I
Like,
was just gonna say that. Yeah, I remember. Like for me, I only started drinking coffee like 5 years ago, and tea is not even close to the same addictive level as coffee. Like you don't need a tea. No one's ever been like, I really need a tea today.
yeah,
And so I went from not doing that to then going to an airport early in the morning and being like, I could smell the coffee right throughout the airport. Like you know where it is, and then you go there, and the line is like
yeah,
the
yeah,
one Starbucks line is all the way down. Starbucks coffee, I don't even like it, but I want to get in that line, and like, so
yeah.
I know that difference of having that. So
No, we
It's
are addicted to coffee. I mean, coffee is a drug, uh, but it's risk and benefits, right? So the risk that I get from drinking a cup of coffee every morning, they're way less, and the risks that have been historically accused coffee of, you know, systematically have been debunked. So I mean, now from a behavioral standpoint, am I proud of being dependent of coffee? No.
right.
If I could be without it, great. Like every time I meet someone that doesn't drink coffee, like inside of me, I'm envious.
Mm.
I'm like, number one, good for you. Number two, I wish I had your brain, because that first cup of coffee on a virgin brain will probably be glorious.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard from someone like if you go off coffee, say for like a couple of months,
Yeah,
it's almost like taking like a, a stronger drug. Like you'll like
yeah,
hallucinate almost when you start
yeah,
drinking it again. You know? So
yeah.
yeah.
There's a guy named Pollock, I think is his last name. He wrote a book about drugs. Um, Pollan, I think is his last name. It's a great book about
Cool.
what drugs do to you, and there's a whole chapter about caffeine.
What was his name? Did you say?
Poland, I think, Poll. Um, People know. I think it was what drugs. I can look it up right now, but he has a chapter. Michael Pollan is his name. This is your mind on plants. It's one
Mm,
in that is in that book. Michael Pollan is a fantastic writer.
cool.
Um, so he does a tour de force to different drugs, and one of them is coffee. And he talks about his experience of being without it for like 3 months, and then sitting down and taking his first espresso after 3 months. And the way he described it is actually a more intense experience than actually things like mescaline
Oh
and
wow.
and MDMA and all that. So yeah, it's a potent drug. Once you're not used
Yeah.
to it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Once you don't need it to get back to baseline, it's a really good drug. The problem is when your baseline becomes so high, right?
Yeah.
So
You become tolerant
yeah,
and used to it, and you need
need it.
you need more and you need more. And
Are there any other, while we're just on this are there any other like nootropic kind of things that you take or use on a regular basis?
I do nootropics. I don't have on the top of my mind what exactly they are, but they're probably reishi and mushrooms and things like that. I go by a commercial brand. I don't know if I should say anything commercially here, but I take Alpha Brain.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Um, I,
Daily?
no, so
Okay.
I take it. It depends on the level of intellectual strain that I need that day.
Uh-huh.
So if I'm going to teach, I take it. If I'm going to speak in a meeting, I take it. I try not to use nootropics every day because I don't want to fall in the tolerance, like my brain developing tolerance to them.
Yeah.
So I take
Same way as the caffeine, right?
the caffeine. That horse is out of the barn in my case. Like
Yeah,
I
I mean like same way as like you're still using a natural caffeine. Like same way as like the energy drinks, let's say. Like it's not like you don't want to become reliant on it.
Correct. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't recommend energy drinks ever. I think there are other ways that you can obtain your energy without relying on them, because not only because of the caffeine. It's not the caffeine that bothers me. It's all the poison they put on it.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I use it in special occasions. Like today, I did it because I knew
Okay.
I was gonna talk. Now I don't. It's not like I'm high or I feel too different. Might be placebo, to be honest with you. But placebo is a drug too. Like
It's the
if you,
only one that's worked 100% of the time, right? We talk about that a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool. So
I
you
take
do alpha brain. And that is I'm reading some of the ingredients. I don't know what bacopa is and cat's claw and L-theanine are the ones that they list as like the main ingredients.
L-theanine is kind of a it's a known one that it's a natural thing that you can take. And so yeah, I take that, and I feel okay with it. It makes me more clear.
Hmm.
To be honest with you, one of the most potent neurotropics that I find, it's fasting. I just feel an immense amount of clarity when I am fasted.
Mm.
And that might not be for everyone. My body's just used to that. But for example, I don't. I know this has been uh, me and you and the way I eat kind of situation. Like I don't eat enough because I don't take breakfast, and
Hmm.
hardly when I'm working, I don't even take lunch. I only eat once a day,
Right.
and but it's because I'm taking advantage of the clarity I feel with that ketosis. Like ketones are insanely, for me at least, and a lot of people say the same thing. Neurotropics, I'm just clear. I can see better. I can think better. I can speak better.
And so you're intermittent fasting most days then?
When I'm working, I am like
Yeah.
because it's mostly because of my brain. It's not for weight.
Hmm.
It's not for any of that. It's just for that. And I think I find that more m- more a better generator of clarity than nootropics or medicate or like things that I take for sure.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. All right. Well, thanks for that. That was supposed to just be fun, but that got pretty good. So
Yeah.
I
Oh, very.
enjoyed. So your daily routine is eating once a day, drinking caffeine, taking some alpha brain kind of supplements, nootropics when you need it, and just like for you, the most natural surrounding of anything is the best. So like, um, anything like I'm sure you do that with food too, like low processed food, like real foods. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So you know, in terms of food, and this is something that when every time I have the opportunity, I deal with people that come in with catastrophic brain injuries and strokes and all like that, right? And
Hmm.
because we live in such a busy environment, and we have to go because we have a lot of patients to take care of. Sometimes we miss what's more important, right? Which is kind of trying to counsel patients of what they should be doing, right?
Hmm.
And I think the most important, I think we talked about this, the more important thing is what are you doing, like in your day to day, and what people are eating, which is, and I joke around with my nurses when they get donuts for everyone. It's like this is just pure poison.
Hmm.
And I'm not trying to be annoying about it or a purist. And you should eat a donut once a week if you want to, but not every day.
Yeah.
And what we eat is just terrible. So my philosophy and what I tell patients is that from Monday to Friday, you should be a Navy SEAL. Like you should have discipline. You need to wake up, um, have some physical activity in your life, and eat like a Navy SEAL. Low carbs. Less than I say less than 150 grams of carbs because you have to understand that these people had already a catastrophic problem from that is 100% related to how they eat and how their lifestyle is. Some more strict, like less than 100 grams of carbs. A lot of protein, more than 1.2, 1.5 grams, ideally 2 grams of per kilo of protein, and no sugar. No sugar. Sugar is poison. Sugar is as bad as a drug, and maybe what I'm going to say is controversial as cocaine. You shouldn't be eating a bunch of sugar in your life, and obviously the common sense that everybody knows, try not to eat processed food because that's just, I don't have to go into that, and yeah, what oils you use and all those. Um, try
Well,
to
I always, and I don't want to be like, you're on the front line of a war. Like, it's not, I'm not being dramatic. Like, you get to see it every day. We don't get to see it, right? We just get to live. And then if we end up seeing you on your ward,
Well,
it's
it's
because
bad.
something went horribly wrong, right?
Yeah.
And like you're saying, like most people don't want to accept responsibility for that. They want to just say, well, it's genetic or it's outside factors or it's just random, right? But you every day get to see the trends of the people that are coming in, and you know it's not random. You know that like there's a lifestyle and there's a way that you live that ends up having to see you. And
Yeah.
the way me and you have talked about it is like I every day I get up, I love my life because I get to be a swim coach to try and stop you getting to your hospital, right? If
Yeah.
anybody shows up at your hospital, it's because they're drowning right now and they need the lifeguard and
Yeah.
they forgot to come and talk to the swim coach, right? Like by the time they get to you, you talking about lifestyle things, it's almost too late,
Yeah.
right? You need to be coming and talk about lifestyle things with me so that they can avoid seeing you.
Yeah.
And like people don't want to hear that. They want to hear that like it's just genetic and the chances of that. No, no, no. Like you're on the front lines. You get to see what choices people make and the impact of that 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. And scarily enough, now people in their 30s and 40s, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And there's all these distractions with like cooking oils and like microplastics
Yeah.
taking the attention away from sugar, which like it kind of pisses me off because like we know what it is. Like the amount of cooking oil you have every day is a teaspoon compared to the amount of sugar you just had today. You know?
Mhm.
And like we don't want to talk about sugar being the problem for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. No. The sure there's some genetic predisposition that some people have. Um, there's some that are completely related to genetics, but those are outliers. The general population, you can have a genetic makeup that makes you more prone what people call epigenetic the epigenetics, the kind of dogma where but you can modify in that epigenetics conversation, you can modify the expression of those genes and the way you're not determined by them. You're not I'm not talking about, I mean, there's outliers, right? Which you are determined and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
But the majority of the people, sure, you can have a predisposition for something because that's your genetic makeup, but you're not determined by them. You're not your gene makeup necessarily. You can and what I'm saying also has a lot of philosophical um, substrata, right? Like you have the power to change your behavior and how your genes express themselves.
Mm.
It's not You're not 100% determined by them, and again, there's studies about that. It's not I'm not making this up. For example, yeah, sure, you can have the hereditary predisposition of developing diabetes. Example, my family.
Hmm.
Everybody and their father have diabetes when they were 40. Like my father had it. I have 10 aunts and uncles. They're all diabetic. I'm in my 40s and I decided that I wasn't going to. I will eventually get diabetes, but not in my 40s.
Hmm.
So what am I doing? I'm doing what they didn't do, and I decided that I'm not gonna be determined by that, and I don't accept that sentence, and I'm going to delay that as much as I can.
Yeah.
And so far, knock on wood, I've been successful about it. So
Yeah. I remember when we first opened our gym and it was like a new way of working out, right? It hadn't been around very long, 10 years ago. And I remember a few people coming in and looking at what we were doing, and they were like, "What are you guys training for? The end of the world?" And I was like, "Kind of, right? Like, they don't get to be on the wards that you get to go on every day and see that, like, you said the best thing that you said so far was like, Monday to Friday, you should be like a Navy SEAL. Like, you're in a battle. You just don't know it because you don't get to see the carnage that is going on in the hospitals. You don't get to see the amount of chronic disease. You don't understand that when they say 60% of the population is overweight and obese, you don't really know what that means because you're just in your own little bubble, right?
yeah,
But you get to see it every day. And like you said, there's of course there's outliers, But the general population, you're not an outlier. So you are in a battle. You're in a battle every day to stay out of the hospital. You're in a battle every day against type 2 diabetes. Because, like you said, if you're addicted to cocaine, they're not giving cocaine out at birthday parties. Not the birthday parties I go to anyway. As like a little cupcake, right? They're not giving out, cocaine at the grocery store or at the soda fountain every time you go, right? Like that's not happening. But with sugar, it's literally in everything. If you have a label on something, I guarantee there's some form of sugar in
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
like you said, like you just don't know that you're in this battle.
No.
And it's if people could see what you see every day, they would know that like
Yeah, no,
you're in control.
you have perspective, yeah. And continuing with a Monday to Friday Navy SEAL situation, and when I say we're talking about diet, we're talking about move. You gotta move. you know, yeah, sure. We engage in a very intense form of exercise, but you don't have to be, you know, lifting weights every day. You should,
Hmm.
but just start. Just move. You gotta move. Your body was designed to move. When you stop moving, you die. This is why you see people that work all their life, they retire and then they die because you gotta move. And that should be and sleep well Monday to Friday. And I'm saying Monday to Friday to give you structure. Sure. And you have to, I mean, obviously you have to have some pleasure in your life. So enjoy that Saturday to Sunday. And I say that to people because that's how people are. They need some pleasure in their life because I don't want people to be my patients to be miserable. Like
Right,
I,
right.
I met this doctor, he instilled the fear of God in me, and I
Yeah,
have to like just eat once a day. I don't tell them to eat once a day, but like
yeah, yeah,
eat like be like a Navy SEAL.
yeah,
And but I don't have any pleasure in my life. So
yeah,
no, so Saturday and Sunday. That should be your pleasure days, and go to a barbecue and eat bread, and you know. And this is another thing people say, like, doctor, but I don't eat sugar.
mm,
Like, okay, so tell me what you eat. Well, I eat a sandwich in the morning, and then I eat some pancakes, and and that's sugar. Carbohydrates turn into sugar, and you see these people with very high levels of triglycerides, which to me is worse than having high cholesterol. And this might be controversial. I really don't care about your cholesterol level. If you have a, if you're in a, if you, for example, and come to me, I know what you do. I know your lifestyle and your
my
cholesterol.
cholesterol is definitely high, dude. You know what I eat. You know
So,
how I would train.
so I personally don't care about that. Like it
Yep.
doesn't matter to me
Mm-mm.
what your cholesterol is. And there's again, but there's this narrative that we are implanted of like what's bad. And as time has gone by and we have more information, we know where we need to focus. So I care more about triglycerides because for me it's an easy way to measure insulin resistance.
Mm.
So I care about insulin resistance. That's
What
why.
are we looking at on triglycerides then? Like if I got a blood panel done
So
for
it's a directing. It's a to me it's a indirect marker of insulin resistance. So to me, insulin resistance is what kills you, right? Ideally, things like apolipoprotein B and lipoprotein little a, to me, are more interesting markers of cardiovascular risk. Now, the lipoprotein little a is a little bit interesting because you can modify that is genetically modified. Now, and it's like, what do you do with it if you
Mhm.
got if it's elevated? Well, now we have a drug that is going to come out to market pretty soon, which will allow you to decrease that marker. But the way you decrease your insulin resistance is what we've been talking, like low carb diet, high protein, exercise, decrease inflammation. Inflammation is everything. Every disease that we know is driven by inflammation, and every chronic disease is inflammation. Diabetes is inflammation ultimately. Uh,
Dude, it's crazy that you say that. Like when people come in to our program, our 8-week program that we do with the nutrition and the fitness, right? In the first 2 to 3 weeks, especially in men for some reason, you just see the inflammation go out of their body
mhm,
in like 2 weeks.
yeah.
It's crazy in men. when all they do is like start working out and stop eating sugar. It just happens so fast.
Yeah, and that's what we and that's our diet, and that's what we have been imposed to. That's this. You can become a little bit of a conspiracy theories and try to say, I mean, why is this happening? Nothing happens without a reason, right? So
Mhm.
why is it? Is it because it's driven by pharmaceutical companies that want to impose on you medications to live a lifestyle? Maybe. I think part of it is also human nature. I mean, we are very um, we tend to live a life uh, that it's only pleasure seeking,
Mhm.
and I think there's a we have lost this Asian knowledge and animal knowledge where you also learn a lot in pain and struggle. I think you only learn in struggle. I don't think you don't if you think about the moments in your life when you have learned the most is in pain and in struggle. Pain is important. If we couldn't feel any pain, which is what we're striving, all of us every day.
Mm.
But if you don't have any pain in your life, you die. The reason you come to the hospital is because you have pain, because your body is telling you there's something wrong. So pain, struggle is actually a teacher of to grow. Obviously, I don't want you to live in pain or suffering every day, but everything that there's a lot that you can learn uh, that it's not necessarily pleasure. And I think that's part of the problem that we just we only seek pleasure and we forgot that there's a lot that we learn, and the reason we're humans is because of pain and
Yeah.
struggle.
I saw something the other day. It was a quote that was any dopamine that you receive without having to do anything difficult will destroy your life.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that was just such a profound statement, right? Anything that you're going to do today that gives you a dopamine rush that you didn't have to work hard for eventually will ruin your life in some way. So,
Yeah, so the reason I wake up every morning I wake up every day at 4:10, 4:15 a.m.
well,
uh,
usually you're awake.
yeah.
Usually you don't have to wake up. You just come right from work.
Yeah, sometimes, not all the time, but like even if I'm not working, like I wake up very early and I go to the gym at 5 a.m. as people know. It's not for the aesthetic um, results of working out. I can personally care less about how I look, and it's the is what you just said is the struggle. Like I don't really enjoy
Sure.
it. People ask me, "Oh, you like working out?" I hate working out. I do not like it. I don't like to wake up at 4:30, go to a gym, drive, and like feel like I'm dying for an hour.
Mhm.
And I don't like that. I feel great after that.
Mhm.
But it's not about it's about starting your day doing something really hard, because after that everything else seems easier. Like I'm driving and someone cuts me in traffic. I just lift 3 times my body weight on the gym. Like I don't care. Like like this is nothing.
Yeah.
Uh, and and uh, and and then you start the day different because you fought against you.
Mhm.
And I think every day you have to defeat yourself a little bit, and I think that will make you better. And the only way you can be better is by, and I don't want to sound weird, but it's struggling. You have to struggle. If you don't struggle, you become soft. You can't handle life, and life is hard. Like
Yeah.
everything that everybody's going through, it's hard.
Yeah. And like you said, it's not easy to get up every day and work out, and it's not easy to avoid sugar, and it's not easy to not have a drink when you get back from work. Like them things are not easy, but
Yeah,
they're not supposed to be easy, right?
yeah, no, and you have to look at it and say like, okay, you have to show yourself who's the boss.
Mhm.
Like, are you completely driven by your passions and desires?
Dopamine. Yeah.
Like, is that who you want to be? Usually that doesn't end well.
Mhm.
You gotta show yourself who's the boss. And while we're on that, we have to be careful of the narratives that we see, right? Like, I think part of the poison of social media, uh, and I'm guilty of that, is that we install in our brains subconsciously narratives of other people and other companies, right? Like, oh, I have to I have to look a certain way. I have to have this or that, or buy this or that, or have that experience there. Fear of missing out,
Mhm.
the FOMO, which is, I think, is very dangerous. The FOMO, like FOMO of missing out because so and so is doing something. Like, is that what you really want, or is that something that was implanted in you? Like, have you been infected by a virus that came from outside?
Mm.
And I think that's part of the reason why people come to the hospital on antidepressants. There's a
Mhm.
lot of that, like freaking, like
Comparing themselves to other people's lives. Yeah.
everybody, I don't have anything wrong with antidepressants. So I think antidepressants are important if they're gonna get you out of the funk, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's chemistry
Yeah.
that the antidepressants help you equilibrate in your brain, and you need it. I'm not talking about that, but everybody is
But
on.
they only work if you make a change in your life while you're taking them, right?
They are. That's the way you have to use them as crutches and
Yeah.
then get rid of them.
Yeah.
But the way to get rid of them is the way to move forward is not drugs. It's like everybody's using Ozempic.
Hmm.
uh, Again, I don't have anything against Ozempic. I think it's a great drug, but that should help you get out. you
Yeah.
know you shouldn't depend on it.
Take it alongside working out, take it alongside cutting out sugar, take it alongside like building habits around it. Great. But you want
Build
to take it for
muscle.
the rest of your life,
Yeah,
starting in your 30s? No.
yeah,
You
build
gotta
muscle.
fix the problem. Yeah.
You know,
Dude.
and everybody says, like, oh, you gotta work out to live better. You also have to work out to die better, because people don't die well anymore.
Mm.
You
We're
know,
good at keeping people alive, right?
we're very good at that, and there's no good death anymore. Like,
Mm.
I remember, my grandma dying, and she died peacefully in her bed. People don't die that way anymore.
Mm.
And people died with a lot of comorbidities and a lot of things that have limited their life completely, and they live horrible years that ultimately end up in kind of with a bad death. So
Yeah. It's how do you want, it's not that you want to live a couple of years longer, it's you want them last years of your life to be great, right? Like
right,
you want to still be working out, you want to still be going for walks, you just want to be hanging out with your grandkids. Like that shit starts now. It's not like you can start fixing that later on when you've got three comorbidities, right? So,
correct. And
yeah.
it's not working out because you wanna. Sure, that could be a goal. Like, you want to look good naked.
Hmm.
Great, but it's not about that. It's really about, how do you want to die?
Mm.
Do you want to die on a wheelchair, not able to walk, or every time you take a step you can breathe,
Hmm.
and you ultimately will have a stroke and you can move half of your body?
And we might be able to keep you alive like that for 15 years.
And this is what we do because people want to leave. And this is only it's very interesting to me how everybody wants to live, which is fine, but nobody thinks about how do you want to be alive? Do you want
Hmm.
to be alive like that? Because that, to me, is not quality.
Hmm.
I don't want to live until I'm 100 without quality. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Uh, but obviously, quality of life is a spectrum.
Hmm.
And for some people, some things are more acceptable than others, and
Yeah.
you
And
gotta.
it's like you're trading in like pleasure now for like this life later on, right? And you've got to really decide like what difficulties you can go through now to have a better life later on. And like, is cutting out sugar worth it to you? Is not drinking worth it to you? Like, we can't tell you if it is or it isn't, right? It's your life. I'm not gonna ever tell somebody to stop doing something that If their goal is not to get somewhere where I want to go or where you want to go, like it's none of my business what you eat or drink. Like I fully don't care. I believe you can eat and drink whatever you want this week. Like whatever you do is fine.
Yeah.
But you're making a decision and like it's which one can you live with this week to help with that later on, you know?
Yeah, and again, moderation, right? Again, I'm not, I'm not imploring for people to have a kind of a stoic life without pleasure. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. It's just you just have to be, you just have to define your goal. Like, what is it that you want to achieve in life, and how do you want your life to live? I think we live a lot. We think about life very linearly. Like, I'm here and then Ian's here, and we miss a lot of what about the process, right? About
Right.
like, it's like I remember in Spain,
Well,
somebody.
like you said with social media, right? Like we think that these people get this life after working for 10 minutes, or we think these people get this body after just taking a Zempic for 2 months. Like
Yeah,
we don't see the process, right? You don't see the struggle.
and
You
that is,
just see the results.
and there's more, and the process is more important than the results, right? And um, I mean, two things I want to say. One, the first one is the the defining your goal, right? It's what do you want to be? Uh, and people sit down and think about things like that. Let's just put example of someone that it's overweight and can feel like not motivated to do things. Um, Define where you want to go, and then break it in a bunch of little pieces, right? And but really feel passionate about where you want. It shouldn't be superficiality crap like I just want to look good and naked, or which is fine if that's your goal, but I can see that being lost really fast. Like, is it your goal, that is it that you want to make be healthy when your daughter
Yeah.
gets married?
The thing that I'm figuring out when I work with people is not the goal is important. It's the why attached to it that
Yeah,
matters,
the
right?
purpose. Yeah, purpose.
Like you said, right? Like, um, it's getting worse, right? They talk to kids now and like they ask them what their goals and dreams are, you know? And it used to be like, I want to be an astronaut or I want to be a professional athlete. I want to, and all these have a process to them that you have to improve as a person to get to the place, right? And then now it's become like, I want to be famous. And like, you can be famous for such dumb shit.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, there's no process. You could just go to a store right now with your phone and start pissing people off, and you might become famous, right? Like, start like throwing things at people, and like it might go viral, right? Like, that's like infamous, you know? And then a lot of kids now, and a lot of like adults even, they want to like win the lottery. And like there's no satisfaction in that. Like everything you're getting is there's no process. It's just empty, right? Once you get there.
Yeah,
Because the journey and the like the goal for you coming into the gym and losing 50 pounds, like the process we're gonna go through in that is where all the magic happens.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Yeah, and again, it's what you're saying. It's finding meaning, right? It's like what's what's and this is the problem of this age, right? We have a lot of people that don't have any meaning, and they don't know where they're going. They like they they don't like to be with themselves and think about things like that, right? And you have to find meaning.
Mm,
It's kind of a, for example, if people haven't read Viktor Frankl, Man in Search of Meaning, you should, because it's telling you how you even find meaning in the most uh, absurd and worse environments, like in a concentration camp,
yeah.
and how he found meaning in pain and struggle, and I think that's what we don't have now, meaning. And once you find your meaning, it can be a big enterprise. You can be overwhelmed by, oh my God, I need to do all this. No, just
Well,
break it down.
I see you every day, man. And like your job sucks. Like your job's hard. You know, you work a ton of hours. You're like writing papers and teaching classes and going and like giving lectures and then doing your full time job. And then you're on call all night. And like your job sucks. Like you break it down and you make a list of things like, but you know why you do it every day. You
Yeah.
know why you get up every day. You know why. You know that you're saving lives. You know that you're helping people. Like you've got a big enough why that you suffer through it, right?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about.
100%. This is not a shiny. It's not a shiny work a job, but the reason I keep doing it is because I love it. So it's
Hmm.
like what Bukowski said one time, like find what you love and then die on it. Like
Yeah.
just die. Just I love medicine. I love taking care of people. I love what I do. It sucks sometimes, but the reason I keep waking up and coming here is because I love it. And this is not for everyone, right? Like some people are doctors and they're not good at it
Hmm.
because they see it as a job.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you have to do things. You have to try to find a passion so you don't have to work. Like
Mhm.
I don't feel like this is a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something I do and something I love. And some days I don't love it as much,
Yeah.
but I do it because I
Awesome.
love it. So, and that's kind of the gist of the of what we're talking about. You have to find your passions, and you have to die on it. And if you feel it's a big enterprise, break it down and just get out of the couch and take one little walk around the your block and then come back and then
Yeah.
when you go to the supermarket, instead of buying 2 6 packs of beer, just buy one,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
try not to eat that bread when you wake up. Just eat
Dude, I,
fruit.
I talked on Tuesday, like the first steps are embarrassingly small to get to your goals.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're doing that, right? You're atomic, like
Yeah.
atomic. Yeah, that's what it's at. Like you can take things and think
They're
of.
embarrassingly small that they don't seem worth it, but they are. Like that first step is worth it because that first step leads to the second. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's so worth it.
And
Just
also,
that.
and also try not to live for the end also. 'Cause, like I was gonna tell you, I was almost forgot. I was in Spain and I heard someone talking about this guy that had a coffee shop in a small town, and they ask him like, why are you like, he will open his coffee shop like 10 a.m. and close it at 1, and it's like, why do you do that? Why don't you just like try to grow your chain, and go and get some roasters and bring coffee beans, and then you can, and then he said, and then what, and then you can just have more stores and spread it out across Spain, and then what, and then you can have this big business, and then he said, and then what, well, and then granted, this guy like just was living his life like real close, and then he'll go to the beach and like have fun and relax the whole rest of the day, and then at the end he said like, okay, so I grow and that for that, so then when you retire, you can just close it to go to the beach. And it's like, this is exactly what I'm doing now. So obviously those are outliers, right? Like
No, no, it's a great metaphor
that's
for.
not how people live, but
Yeah.
it's like you gotta enjoy the process, not think about when you retire. Uh, Live every moment, enjoy it.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's what you love. He loved serving coffee for a few hours and going to the beach. If you love building a massive business and that gets you up every day, then that's your love, right? Like,
right.
yeah, it's awesome. All
Well,
right, dude, we've been on for almost an hour.
yeah, man.
I would love to like if this doesn't get kicked off YouTube because we talked about too much controversial stuff, then I'd love to do this again. Like maybe do it like once a quarter or once a
Yeah, you let
every
me
so
know.
often and just catch up.
Yeah.
Um, and that I think people want to ask more questions and
Oh, yeah.
stuff next time, so I think it'd
You're
be cool.
assuming people like this. The people might say, oh, "This is crazy, guys."
Oh, I don't give a shit. I liked it, so like I want to do it on a regular basis.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
let me know. Yeah, this was great. Thank you for inviting me.
yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you for being so open and honest and like sharing.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
anytime.
All right, dude. I'll see you in the gym.
See you in the gym.
All
Take
right,
care.
bye.
Bye. So we just lost.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I'm definitely gonna have Cedric on again soon. I love that conversation, and if you have more questions, put them in the comments, and we'll bring them to Cedric next time. And yeah, it's just great to have his perspective. All right. Have a great day, and I will see you in